The Simply Ayesha YouTube family has grown a lot over the past year. So I felt like it was time for me to do another Q&A. I haven't done one of these in years, probably like 2-3 years. So I put a post on my community tab and on my Instagram asking you guys to ask me whatever. And now I'm just going to go through and answer all of your burning questions. So let's get it. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Ayesha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to start with the community post questions, and then after that we'll move into the Instagram questions. So I'm just going in order of how they were posted. First question. You can only keep 5 of your fragrances. What 5 are you keeping? That's a hard question. I did do a top 10 video recently, like my favorite 10 fragrances. So just off the bat, if I had to pick 5 of those, that would be so hard. But I would keep Black Orchid, Amouage Sunshine, Fève Delicios from Dior. So hard. Nishane Ani and MFK Grand Soir. Those would be the ones that, no, I can't keep 5, y'all. I can't keep 5. Check out my video for my favorite 10 fragrances because I would keep all of those, but we'll just go with those 5 since those are the 5 that I named. Next question is, what do you do? So I'm assuming they mean professionally. I am a pharmacist. So currently I work part-time being a pharmacist. And then my husband and I also own a business. We own 3 Pilates studios. We are franchisees of Club Pilates. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, check us out. Even if you're not in the Tampa Bay area, I strongly believe in the brand. So check out your local Club Pilates if you're interested in getting into Pilates. The same person asked, if you could have only 1 fragrance for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Again, I can't choose just one. Just to throw something out there, I would just go with Amouage Sunshine, and I picked that one because it's in my top 10 and I feel like it's pretty versatile. So I could wear it year round. I could wear it for date night. I could wear it for day to day. So that's what I would pick, but I would never be that type of person to wear just 1 fragrance. All right, next one. I really like your channel. You come off as very relatable and down to earth. Thank you. How did you get into fragrances, niche fragrances, and lastly, YouTube? Also, how do you not burn a hole in your wallet purchasing fragrances? So first up, thank you for the compliment. I got into fragrances just because I have been into fragrances since as long as I can remember. I remember when I was a kid, I would sneak my mom's perfume, and then I started getting my own perfume. So that's how I got into fragrances. So even before I started like heavily talking about fragrances, I still had a collection. It wasn't anywhere like what it is now, but I probably still kept like 50 fragrances on me at all times. Now, as far as niche fragrances, I got into those when I really started watching YouTube videos about fragrances because it kind of just opened up my mind about all these other fragrances that are out there that I had never smelled before. So I think the one fragrance I would attribute that to is Mancera Instant Crush. I purchased that fragrance, and that seems to have opened the door for me to pick out a lot more niche fragrances. Even though I had a couple of niche before that, like Jo Malone, but I feel like Jo Malone, even though it's a niche company, they are kind of more likable scents, so kind of more similar to designer scents. Now, as far as getting into something quite different, Mancera Instant Crush was the one that did it for me. How do I not burn a hole in my wallet? Well, I do. Okay, so basically I do spend too much money on fragrances, and yeah, I probably shouldn't spend as much as I do. But the way that I don't burn a hole in my pocket is I shop for discounts literally all the time. I'm a person who loves a sale no matter what it is. And so when I purchase niche fragrances, more than likely I'm not paying full retail for them. I mean, I do sometimes, but more than likely I'm not paying full retail. And if I'm getting it from places like Sephora, Nordstrom, or whatever, I try to wait for a coupon, or I wait for if I have a gift card or something like that. So that's how I save money purchasing fragrances. And then the other ways that I don't burn a hole in my pocket is that I do get some fragrances sent to me, not a lot, unfortunately, but I do get some sent to me. And then also the money that I make from YouTube, I basically just use it to buy more fragrances. So there's that. Next question says, what's your astrological sign? I'm a Virgo. Next question is, you can only wear 3 fragrances for a whole year. Which are your top 3? Well, I feel like I've kind of already answered this question because I think I did top 5 and I did top 1. So let's just go with Amouage Sunshine, Black Orchid, and Fev. The same person asked, in the near future, do you want any more children? No. Not in the near future or the far future. All right, next question. Hey, Ayesha. Hey. What was the first scent you owned and what memories are attached to it? Also, what scent did you wear on your wedding day? So, the first scent that I owned, I honestly do not remember. A few that I can remember, like when I was probably like in high school, early college, that I can remember actually purchasing and not just taking from my mom, are Escada Sentiment. I used to love that fragrance. Went through multiple bottles of that. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore, so I can't really tie any scent memories to it. But then I guess I can think back. I do have some scent memories from like when I was younger, and I know I must have taken my mom's fragrances. So I remember taking my mom's Givenchy Amirage or Amarige or something like that. When I think back, this fragrance was like so grown. I don't know why I was into it, but I love that fragrance. I remember hiding it in my room. Like my mom couldn't smell it on me. But yeah, so that's one little scent memory. And then another one was, this is gonna age me, but when I was younger and we had a computer, I remember the days where we had dial-up. Now you youngins, y'all probably don't know what it is, but you actually basically like call the internet and you would hear the little touch tones, blah, and then it would make weird noises and it would connect to the internet. So I remember when I first started getting into the internet, I remember purchasing 2 fragrances, I think, from eBay way back in the day. I purchased Burberry Brit and I purchased Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I wore those fragrances for years. So yeah, every time I see those fragrances, I think about like early internet days. Oh, that same person asked what scent did I wear on my wedding day, and I wore Marc Jacobs Daisy. I got married in the spring and I got married in 2009, and at the time I loved that fragrance. I still really like the smell of it, but I don't wear it anymore. All right, the next question says, what type of camera editing program do you use? So I use a Sony ZV-1 to film my videos. For my vlogs, I use my iPhone, which is a 12 Pro, I think. I'm pretty sure this is a 12 Pro Max. And then as far as editing program, I use iMovie to edit all my videos. She also asked, are there any other hobbies in your life that compare with your love for fragrances? I am a person who switches things. So right now, I'm really heavy into fragrances. I do still love my luxury bags. I still love makeup. It's just that I don't have as much use for those things as I do for fragrance, because I can wear fragrance every single day. And I honestly used to wear makeup every single day, so that was probably like a big obsession for me. But now I don't, because I wear a mask to work every single day, and so I no longer wear makeup on those days. I really only wear makeup if I'm filming or if I'm going out. As far as other hobbies, I do like to read. I really don't read anymore, but I like to listen to my audiobooks. Of course, I like just hanging out with family, friends, husband, and going out and experiencing new restaurants, drink spots. I really enjoy doing that stuff as well. All right, the next question says, what are your thoughts on Burberry Black, and is it a winter or summer fragrance? So I have smelled Burberry Black, but I have to be honest, I've never completely jived with it. I've never owned a bottle. I did have a sample, but I probably only wore it like once. And so I don't have many thoughts on it. I just know it wasn't like my cup of tea. As far as if it's winter or summer, I honestly don't remember. If I had to guess, I think it was more of a fall winter scent, but take that with a grain of salt because I'm really not super familiar with it. So this next person asked like 4 questions or so. So the first one she asked is, when did you decide to become a pharmacist? So I decided to become a pharmacist my last year of high school. One of my friends in high school told me she was going to pharmacy school, or that she wanted to go to pharmacy school. And I always knew I wanted to do something in the health field, but I am not a blood person. I always knew that I wanted some sort of career where I didn't feel like I was always on call. And so she told me about that she was going to become a pharmacist. I started looking into it. At the time I worked for a grocery store, and so I started talking to my pharmacist there, and that's how I decided. The next question she asked is, what types of shows do I enjoy? So I love my reality TV. And I know some of y'all are probably just shaking your head right now, but I really like to watch reality TV because it's relaxing for me. It's something I don't have to think too hard about. I can just laugh. That's basically what I watch them for. But also I do like more suspenseful TV shows. I don't watch them as much because I just don't have the time to commit to them. But I do like those types of shows. And those are the types of books I like to listen to are psychological suspense. That's my favorite genre. She also asked, will you ever buy a Chanel bag, or have you shown it already and I missed that video? So, never say never, but no, I don't think so. And it's honestly because of price. I just don't see myself spending that much money that it would cost for like a classic flap. And I don't love the classic flaps. I do really like the Chanel number 19 bag, and I really like the square mini. And sometimes I like other bags that they come out with seasonally. I do like the wallet on chain too. But again, I don't like them enough that I felt the need to try to really save and get one. So to me, that tells me I don't need it. There's just something in me. I mean, I know if you took away some of my bags, I would have enough for a Chanel. But something in me is just saying I can't spend that money on a bag. I know, unpopular opinion. All right, the next question says, will you ever do a video with your husband rating your top 10 fragrances, and how many bottles do you have in your collection? So as far as a video of my husband rating my top 10, I don't know. Because I think I would be butthurt if he said he didn't like one of them. Because anytime he tells me he doesn't like a fragrance, even if he really doesn't know, because sometimes, you know, you'll smell stuff out of the bottle and think you don't like it, but then when I wear it, he'll compliment me on it. But whenever he does that, it puts a little something in the back of my mind, and then I feel weird wearing it around him. So I probably won't do a top 10, but I will do some other videos with him, like judging my fragrances. And then as far as how many bottles I have in my collection, I honestly don't know. When I did my collection videos last year, or at the beginning of 2021, at that time, I think I had 178 bottles. So I think I have right around 200 now. All right, the next question says, how do you switch from one fragrance to another? I really struggle adjusting going from one perfume one day to another the next, because it's like I can't adjust to the different notes. I'm so obsessed with all of my fragrances, yet I really struggle switching things up. How do you do it, especially with a large collection? So for me, I don't really have that issue because I have always been a person who thinks variety is the spice of life. And that could be like a downfall, but I'm not the type of person who can eat the same food every day. I'm not the type of person who does like the same exact routine every day. That's just not me. I mean, I guess my routine is kind of the same, but as far as like details, I'm not one of those people that can have that same thing every single day. So for me, it's easy to switch mine every day. And I have a large collection, so I like to wear them all. So I just randomly pick based on mood. One thing you could do though, if you are really having trouble switching, is you could at the beginning of the week pick out all your fragrances for the week. So pick like 7 fragrances and assign them a day and just go like that. See if that works for you. All right, the next question says, what do you think about Tom Ford perfumes in general? Do you think they're worth the hype price? So if you guys saw my last video, then obviously I am a Tom Ford fan. I have way too big of a collection and I love them. Now, whether I think they're worth the price, I don't know. Is anything worth the price? Do I think they're worth the hype? Definitely. Next question says, what is your biggest guilty pleasure? And then in parentheses, she says, handbags, shoes, perfume, clothing, food. So I guess right now my biggest guilty pleasure is perfume. However, I mean, I kind of love all those things. Clothing and shoes don't really do it for me. I used to really love shoes, and I like clothes more when I'm a size that I want to be. But as of right now, I'm not that. So, you know, it's not really at the top of my list anymore. So yeah, I would say perfume. I love my handbag still, and I love my food. And then the next question she said is, are there some perfumes you've had longer than 5 years, and what is your favorite scent you love to wear? So yes, I have had some fragrances more than 5 years, and we already talked about my favorite scents, so I love to wear all of those. The next question says, what type of music do you like? What's your top 3 artists right now? So honestly, I don't listen to that much music on my own because whenever my kids are in the car, it's kids bop all day, every day. So when they get out of the car, I kind of just want quiet. But the types of music that I like are gospel, R&B, some hip hop, basically older hip hop, not really too much into new stuff. My top 3 artists right now would be Beyonce. Who else? Bruno Mars, John Legend. All right, she says, what's your favorite meal that you cook? I am not a cook, guys, so this is a hard question. I haven't cooked it in a while, but I really like when I make chicken and rice. It sounds so basic, but I guess that would be my favorite dish that I cook. And then she asked, what's your favorite meal your husband cooks? Basically everything. I guess if I had to pick one dish that he cooks, I would say chicken marsala. I love that. And he usually will cook that with fettuccine alfredo. So I love that. And he does not use no bottle sauce. He makes everything from scratch. He's even made pasta from scratch before, but usually he doesn't do that anymore. But he does buy like the better pasta. What's the last show you binge watched? I don't binge watch shows. So I don't have an answer to that. I always find it amazing how people can binge watch a show. Maybe my attention span is too short, but I can't watch anything over 2 hours. Like honestly, if there's a movie I want to see, I look at how long it is, and if it's over 2 hours, I'm probably not gonna watch it. So yeah, I can't tell you the last time I binge watched a show. I don't know if I ever have. Maybe, actually I know I binge watched a show when I was on maternity leave. So that was at least, what, 4 years ago? So. All right, next question. Would you be willing to do a self-care day video? Yes, I would be willing to do that, but I would have to take some thought. I would have to put some thought into that because I honestly never spend a whole day doing self-care for myself, but it would have to be something really planned. But yes, I would consider doing that. Next question is, what are your husband's favorite scents for you and for himself, and what are your favorite scents for him? So my husband's favorite scents for me, I mean, he probably couldn't pick out a bottle and tell you, but the ones that he always compliments me on are Black Orchid from Tom Ford, Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One. He typically compliments me on Kayali Musk. And yeah, I'll go with those 3. As far as my favorite scents for him, I really love Spice Bomb on him. And I love this bourbon fragrance he has. I don't remember the name, but it's from the brand The Art of Shaving, which is like a shaving company, but they actually have a really good smelling fragrance. And that same person asked, do you want more children? The answer is no. Next person says, I definitely can't wait for this video. Thank you. I love your handbag collection. What's your favorite handbag? And how do you juggle everyday life and YouTube? So my favorite handbag, I mean, that's super hard. It's like asking me to pick my favorite perfume. It's hard to do. I guess if I went by the one that I use the most, as far as that being my favorite, then it would be my YSL, what's it called? Medium college bag. I'll try to put a picture here, but I wear that bag a ton. And then as far as how I juggle everyday life and YouTube, I don't know. I've tried to make it a point to be consistent on YouTube for the past year. So I've really been trying to stick to a schedule, and I film on my days off when my kids are at school. And then while I'm waiting in the car line, I typically edit my videos because I'm waiting in the car line for usually about an hour. So that's typically when I start editing my videos, and that kind of keeps me on track because that's literally like an hour that I'm sitting there. So yeah. All right, so that was the last question on the community post. So let me switch over to Instagram real quick. There's not as many on there, so we'll be done with this video soon. All right, first Instagram question is, if you could only wear one fragrance for the rest of your life, what would it be? Already answered that. Next question says, do you struggle being a working mom? And then that person also said that they work part-time. They have three girls, a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and she's struggling to find balance. Any tips? She also says she loves my channel and has been a subscriber for years, so thank you. Yes, I do struggle being a working mom, but I don't think that it's just being a working mom. It's just being a mom, period. I do struggle a lot, more than y'all probably would know. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that I do have a kid with special needs. He's my oldest child, and because he's my oldest child, my younger child has also picked up some of his habits. So trying to break those habits and just trying to deal with what comes and goes with a kid with special needs can be very difficult. So I do struggle being a mom. Now, I only work part-time for my regular job, so that really helps because it allows me to have some time to myself, and it also allows me to do YouTube, which for me is an outlet. It's something that helps keep me sane because it's something that only I do. Like, nobody else in my house contributes to. Only I do. I don't have to answer to anybody for it. I mean, of course, I do like to do videos and stuff that please y'all, but overall, it's just something that I do, and I do it how I want to do it. So that's how I handle it. As far as finding balance, I think you just have to think about what's priority, and sometimes the priority needs to be yourself. It can't always be the kids, especially like you have 3 kids. I can't imagine, because my 2 kids, I mean, our house, these kids be driving me crazy sometimes, but yeah, so finding balance, I think, is just thinking about what's important and really just making time for you, even if it's something as small as making sure that you have 30 minutes to yourself every day. One thing that I used to be better at, but I still kind of do, is I always try to wake up earlier than everybody else to have that time to myself, period. Not even with my husband, just to myself. And I find that when I stick to that, I feel much more centered and well balanced. All right, next question says, you have such a beautiful, calm aura about you. That's one of the reasons I enjoy watching you. Thank you. Her question is, if you have one superpower, what would it be? I think if I had a superpower, I would want to fly, because that just seems like so much fun. You could get from one place to the next really quickly. So yeah, I would like to fly. And then she also says, apart from perfumes, what other passions do you have? And of course, y'all know I love my handbags. I love my makeup. So those are like little passions that I have. And then of course, I love to read or listen to books now. I really don't have time to read. I can listen to a book a lot easier because I can do it in my car while I'm driving. When I first started listening to audiobooks, I thought it was weird. I never thought I would get into it because I really love the turning of the pages and the, you know, the actual whole idea of reading. But I find that if I'm trying to read a book, it takes me forever because I don't have the time. I can listen to an audiobook while I'm cleaning up or while I'm cooking or while I'm driving. All right, so the next question says, if you weren't a pharmacist, what other job might you have? I think I still want to do something in healthcare, and I think I want to be a dermatologist. I always say that if I had to do it again, I would be a dermatologist because, again, it's something that I think I would enjoy, and it's something that I would not be in the hospital all times of night, all the time, and yeah, I think I would enjoy it. So, dermatologist, not too messy. I mean, sometimes you got to do some procedures in the office, but overall, you're not digging deep into the organs and stuff. So I think, yeah, dermatology would be where I would go. She also asked, what Real Housewife are you most like? I don't really think I'm like any of them, to be honest. But I guess if I had to pick one, I would say Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know she's not on there this upcoming season, but she's been a housewife for forever. So I would say her just because I feel like she's a bit more mature. She never likes to start anything with anybody. She doesn't like conflict. Now, sometimes she does run from conflict, which I don't know if that would be me. And also that friend contract thing, like sometimes she could come off a little bit too needy with her friends. So I don't really think that's me either. But as far as how she holds herself and how she handles conflict, I guess I would be the most like her. She also asked, biggest lessons you learned in marriage and mothering thus far. So let's take mothering first. I guess the biggest lesson I've learned in mothering is trying to enjoy or try to enjoy the little moments. Because sometimes I look too big picture and then I get down, or I worry about the future and then I get down. If I just live in the moment and just really try to enjoy and hold on to those good moments, it helps me be a happier person. As far as biggest lesson learned in marriage, this is an oldie, but I still find it to be true. It's just picking my battles. I do not nitpick my husband about little things. I do not tell him every little thing that bothers me because honestly, a lot of times it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just causes a stupid argument and then you don't even know what you're arguing for. So I think picking my battles is one of the things that I've learned in marriage that has helped us have a happier one. Not saying you let everything slide. That's not what that means. It means knowing when to fight for something and knowing when not to. When you fight over every little thing, your fights are no longer important. If you only hardly ever fight, that can be a big deal. All right, the next question says, how did you initially get into fragrance and what was your first fragrance? And I already answered that. Next question says, do you want any more kids? No. And then she also asked, out of all of your fragrances, which one would you say is that girl for any situation? Let's see. That girl. I would say Nishane Ani because it's year-round appropriate. It's gonna make a difference no matter what you're doing. So perfect for date night, perfect for daytime. It can be worn in the cold weather, like where you can feel nice and cozy, but you can also wear it in the summer because it has that citrusy scent to it as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Nishane Ani. Also, not to mention, projection is everything, longevity is everything. So people will notice you and people will compliment you on it. All right, next one says, how did you decide on your profession? I already answered that. And then she also asked, do you prefer niche versus designer fragrances? I would say I prefer niche at this point. I do really like luxury designer though, but I feel like a lot of luxury designer fragrances smell more niche. And when I say they smell more niche, they smell not so mainstream. So like think about brands like Tom Ford, Private Line, or any of Tom Ford, not even just the Private Line. Sorry if I'm looking over there. I still have all my Tom Ford fragrances sitting over there. But yeah, so like Tom Ford and like Dior Privé or Armani Privé, those fragrances are technically designers, but to me they're more niche like. So I guess if I had to pick, probably luxury designer would be my top, and then niche, and then regular designer. All right, the next question says, I live in your area and was wondering, is there a particular location you would recommend for fragrance shopping? So if you guys don't know, I live in Florida in the Tampa Bay area. I live outside of Tampa, but I'm in the Tampa Bay area. I live in a suburb, but I think our fragrance shopping here leaves much to be desired. But if I had to pick one place that I like to shop in person, it would be Nordstrom at International Mall or Neiman Marcus at International Mall. And honestly, I don't buy from those places that much because I prefer to shop online, but sometimes I will go out there and smell around. And the associates are always really nice at both of those stores. All right, the next question says, what hair products do you use and what is the fragrance you will keep in your collection? So hair products, on my natural hair, I use a few things. If I just pick like the main things, my gel that I typically use for wash and goes is Uncle Funky's Daughter Curly Magic. That's like my go-to. My leave-in conditioner that I typically will use to style my hair is the Shea Moisture Curl and Shine Milk. So I think those are probably the two most important things. Those are the ones that I don't switch up as much. And then she said, what is a fragrance you'll keep in your collection? And I feel like I already answered that. I think that's still asking like, what's my favorite fragrance? Yeah. Next question says, how did you and your hubby meet? So we both went to the same school. We are both pharmacists. He graduated before me, and I went to FAMU. So Florida A&M University is HBCU, if you guys have never heard of it. And every year they have something called the Atlanta Classic, where basically it's a football game in Atlanta. It's a big deal. People go hang out, you know, go have fun. So when I was in school, I went to the Atlanta Classic and we went to a club and our mutual friends began talking, and that's how we met. So technically we met in the club. Y'all should feel special because usually when people ask how we met, I say, oh, we met at a football game, but really we met in the club. All right, next question says, what's your go-to date night fragrance with your hubby? I have too many. I don't have a go-to. I have too many. If I had to pick one that I've worn like over and over for years and years, it would be Black Orchid, but that's because I've had it for so long, so it is definitely a staple. Let me think of another one though, because I feel like Black Orchid is always the answer for me. I'm sorry to give y'all another Tom Ford fragrance, but I'm just being honest. Another one I love to wear on dates quite regularly is Lost Cherry from Tom Ford. All right, and the next question says, what are your thoughts on Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper? So I have done a full Kayali video featuring pink pepper, but I will go ahead and say I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it is, it smells very high end and it performs pretty well. So definitely check out my video if you want to know more. But to me, just to give you a quick rundown, it is a beautiful rose scent that is spicy, and it smells like there's some oud in there. So it kind of smells like a oud rose combination, but there is no oud in there, but it kind of smells like a nice classy oud rose combination. Perfect for year round. And it kind of reminds me of a more feminine version of Oud Satin Mood from MFK. All right, and we are on the last question. And it is, what is your favorite fragrance to wear to work? Preferably niche. I wear all kind of stuff to work, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I do, like, whatever I feel like wearing is what I wear. If I had to think about like a quintessential work scent for me, so I've been thinking about this for a few minutes, y'all. And I honestly cannot think of like my favorite work scent. Just right off the top of my head, I will tell you that I wore a scent to work last week and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm just gonna throw that one out there. But honestly, I wear everything to work. Whenever I think about a work scent, I just try to think about something that's not going to be too strong as long as I don't overspray it. Because I do work in the healthcare field. So I don't want something that's gonna be too strong or too polarizing. So I typically stick to like any type of vanilla scent. So today I wore Annick Goutal Nuit et Confidences, and that was amazing. I got a couple compliments on it. It's a beautiful like smoky boozy vanilla, but it's not overpowering. So that is, I mean, I guess we can say that's one I like to wear to work. That's a niche fragrance. But the other fragrance I was thinking about that I wore last week that I felt like was perfect for work was Kayali Elixir 11. And I honestly, before last week when I wore it, I honestly didn't think it was probably the best scent for work because I think of it as kind of like a sexy formal scent. But I loved it at work. It made me feel just really good. And it's probably just because it's not something I wear very often. And I just felt like I smelled good, but I still smelled very professional. Another one that I really like for work is YSL Lieb. Again, that's not niche. But those are the ones that I would just pick right off the top of my head. So those were all of the questions. Thank you guys so much for asking them. I was honestly a little bit nervous because I'm like, does anybody want to know anything about me? And I honestly was kind of surprised that I got so many fragrance questions. I expected to get more personal questions and more like kids questions, but hey, y'all asked what you wanted to hear, so I gave you those answers. I hope you found this video fun and that it helped us grow a little bit closer. And I hope it helped a lot of you that are new to the channel get to know me a little bit better. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it now. Also, make sure you follow me over on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.